interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
Yo, it's Remember the Show. Slick with the flows, where the sparring can go. Who's gonna be on, man, you never will know. Guess you better tune in, cause we live from Chicago. Belal Muhammad, that's the king of the tweets. Jason Anik looks like John, step his hands to his feet. Every Thursday, we gon' give you a treat. It's Remember the Show, hit play and repeat. And retweet, and retweet, and retweet. And retweet, it's Remember the Show, hit play and repeat.
Hello, we are live, not without some technical difficulties. This is Remember the Show. My name is Cody Merrill, director, producer, co-host extraordinaire, and I'm here with, according to Tapology, the number 3 ranked UFC welterweight, actually overall ranked welterweight in the world, Belal Muhammad. Belal, how you doing?
Good. Honestly, Tapology is the only rankings that really matter if you really think about it.
Right.
Everybody uses it to see who the last opponents were. A lot of people use it, so it makes a lot of sense. They got some real experts over there.
Right. Hey, I mean, give the people what they want, right? Like, we want to see Belal Muhammad fight. Is there any update, Belal? I know that there's a lot happening in the welterweight division, but you're staying ready. What's going on?
First, everybody was probably wondering where Jason is. Jason got the vid. It's back out here, guys, so be careful. Wash your hands. Be careful. Jason, heal up. Just want to say, Paul Pierce did come back in the fourth quarter in the wheelchair, so he wasn't soft. I told you to come on the show, wear a mask, but it's all right, man. Get well soon, brother.
Well, I don't know. Part of me thinks after last week's show, he didn't come on because the Warriors won, maybe there's some type of correlation there between the outcome of the game and,
that's a good point right there. I didn't even think about that. He had the Celtics jersey on. We thought we were going to bring Brendan Moreno back in. Oh, man. Now it's all starting to click. I'm going to have to bring a COVID test.
And then Calvin Cater, ended up losing on the weekend. So, a tough week for Boston. Tough week for Boston, that's for sure.
Yeah, that was a bad week for the guys. Feeling for them. I forgot to tweet out to John. I didn't want to kick a man when he was down, but John told you.
That's new. Which reminds me, next week, International Fight Week. A lot of things going down, a lot of events, a lot of UFC Fight Pass events. The UFC Expo is Thursday and Friday. Belal Muhammad will be making appearances, of course, if you want to get a photo with that beautiful beard. But most importantly, Belal, I know there's a lot of talk going on social media between a couple of choice commentators, UFC athletes, about your basketball skills. So, boy, I just want to give you the floor. What is going to go down next week if these people are brave enough to step on the court with you?
These guys are talking tough. DC's talking. And then you got Eric Anders acting like he's doing something. Big tickets. Walt Harris acting like he's talking. So these guys are talking, but there's not really a lot of action. So me and Jamal Hill are for sure in. Cody's in, Jason's in, so we're going to be ready to play. So I'm also going to set out a challenge to any fans out there that thinks they can hoop. Me and Jamal are putting out the challenge to $100 to any fans, any 2 fans, 2-on-2, that could beat me and Jamal Hill to a game of 5. And you get $100 for every point you beat us by. So if you beat us by 5 points, that's $500 right there. So me and Jamal Hill are going to be in Vegas. If you could hoop, come and holler at us.
And we're playing real call fouls rules, and we're gonna get ridiculed if you call in too many fouls. We're gonna play legit.
These are prison rules. We don't play soft here.
Back taps are all good.
I play with freaking Lewis Boo Boo Taylor every Tuesday night. Lewis the guy that plays defense like this and then freaking like smashes your arm as you're trying to run back, thinking that he's stopping you. I'm like, bro, that's a foul right there. And then he calls you sauce, and then you got to man up. So I've taken some hard hits. So if any of these bigger guys want to go, I'm ready.
Well, I know you've trained with the Khabib Nurmagomedov team, but have you played basketball with them?
Honestly, I haven't, but I want to. I've been wanting to. It seems like it'd be fun. I asked Will Harris about it before, and he's like, bro, when I was in Dagestan, Will Harris played freaking college ball before. He was a beast. And he was telling me, like, bro, they would just hack the heck out of me. And then they would start wrestling. And then I'm like the biggest guy out there thinking I could dunk. And then all of a sudden they're picking me up. And he's like, dude, I ain't playing. But he also said he'll come down to Vegas. Said he's going to be down there already. He said, I'll record if you guys play. So if we get enough guys to come and hoop, we'll get a good recorder session there.
Well, I love it. I love it. Love a good game of hoop to get the week started. Get the blood flowing, get everybody in good spirits. It's going to be a hell of a week, International Fight Week. I'm excited. But before we do that, I want to look back at last week, Bully. There was an amazing main event that went on, an amazing card, really, at UFC Austin. But MMA judging once again took center stage after 9 finishes over the course of 18 minutes of octagon time. Can you believe that?
That was crazy. Honestly, that whole card was sick. Even when I saw it, I was like, just the names on the card. When I looked it up, I was like, oh, crap. Because, there's fights every week. So a lot of the card, the fighters on it, you're not really paying attention to it. But then when you actually get the fight day and I'm making my circles, I'm like, dude, this card is sick. That's a really good card. And it showed out. Everybody showed out that day. It was a really good card. Even the main event was really good. Honestly, for me, like you said, came down to the judges. I gave it to Calvin Kattar. Talking with his coach today, Tyson Chartier, he posted something today about the new judging criteria, and it's like the most genius thing I've ever seen. It makes the most sense ever. And I was like, dude, why don't they do that? It makes so much. Did you read it?
I did read it. Love Tyson. Tyson's a New Hampshire boy.
Yeah, his thing was, all right, well, we have 3 judges, so why don't they judge each round? So based off points. So like if 2 judges gave you round 1, all right, you get 1 point for round 1. If it's 2 out of 3 give you round 1, 2 judges give you round 2. Even if you get it, they could do a 10-8 where you get a negative point if you get killed. So then you could lose that point too. So 10-8s are still available, but it makes the most sense. So if 2 judges give you this round and then 2 judges give you round 3, that's a win right there.
Well, I figure it would be the perfect time to bring in another UFC vet, Super Sodiq Yusuff. We're talking about MMA judging, so something that I know that you've had some experience with. What are your thoughts kind of on last week's main event controversy and kind of just the state of MMA judging? Sorry to jump you right in here.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I thought Kattar was winning too, but I'm gonna have to rewatch the last couple of rounds. I gotta watch it again. And to be honest, man, it's a hard job. And I remember somebody put up a tweet and they was explaining like how like the judging actually works. And when I was reading through it, I realized I don't know the damn rules either, man. I just see playing it.
Yeah, when I was talking to Aaron Bronstetter, and he called me. He's like, "Yo, let me call you about the judging and tell you how they're supposed to judge it." And just him like talking about takedowns, he was like, if you get a regular takedown and it's like a single leg or something, like that doesn't count as a takedown. He said like you have to make a slam or something like that, then they'll count as all right. That's some damage right there. And I'm like, it really didn't make no sense at all what he was saying. It, but when you're looking at these judges, like I don't even think they're judging it in that way. But for me, I thought like Calvin, when you're talking about significant strikes. I
think the worst part is that some of these judges don't train. It's like you have training should be the bare minimum. Like you don't have to be a professional fighter, but you have to at least train so you know like what it feels like to be in certain positions. Because there's certain positions that like to a regular person looks like you're in trouble when you're really not. And on the flip side of that, there's certain positions where a regular person might think you're okay and like you're like 1 second away from losing.
Yeah, and the big thing of that is when they're talking about Calvin. Oh, well, Calvin's only doing the jab. Calvin jabbed them all day, but like if you're a fighter, a jab is a significant strike. You've got 4 ounce gloves on. A jab hurts. Calvin, Emmett's whole face was swollen up from the jab,
and Bisping said that.
He's only jabbing for boxing, thinking that a jab is not really effective. But I'm like, bro, these are 4 ounce gloves. The jab's a real punch. Significant strike.
You ever get jabbed right in the eyeball? It means a lot.
Yeah, I'm like, bro, like the way they're just describing it as a jab, so people are just thinking, well, it's only a jab, and I'm like, bro, only a jab with no gloves on, it hurts.
Man, well, and Bisping said as much on the broadcast. He's like, I'd like to find who is saying that a jab isn't significant and punch him in the face because I bet it's pretty damn significant.
It's crazy. But Sodiq, you just fought. You had a beautiful win against Alex Caceres, coming back, rebounding off of a loss. But what's next for you? You have the title fight up next week. Obviously, you're one of the guys in the division that's a big up and comer. You got a great style for any of these top guys. So, like, do you have anybody in mind or anything coming up?
Yeah. I signed for a fight last week. So I don't think it's my spot to say. So
bro, you can break the news on the show right now. You're all good.
Nah, I don't want to get in trouble. If they don't say nothing, I don't say nothing. But I already got something coming up.
Oh, that's nice. It's funny when when you say you broke it when you signed it last week. I'm like, people will literally be like, the next hour we'll post something, and I'm like, somebody watching the show right now is probably doing their research right now. Like, let me see who else said they got to fight last week. All right,
Big Marcel is about to have a post in about.
Well, here's the thing, though. I signed. I don't know if the other person signed. So That's why I can't. I don't know if I have to fight or not.
Could you tell us around the date you're gonna fight in August or past that? I'm just trying to fish something out. I just love to watch you fight.
around that.
All right, we'll work with that right now. But next week, obviously, the title fight. Who do you got in that title fight between Volkanovski and Holloway?
Man, I think I might have to lean towards Max, but not by a lot. Not by a lot. It's not like I'm super confident that he's gonna win. I'm only leaning towards Max because I do feel like Max won the second fight. And the second fight, the biggest thing I feel like changed between the first and the second is like in the second fight, Max wasn't really respecting the feints as much as he did in the first one. He would just attack on every single feint, you know. But Max has the cardio to do that kind of stuff, you know. So maybe I'm leaning towards Max, but like I said, not by a lot.
Yo, what's up, my brother David?
What's up? How you doing?
How you doing? All right, you're in the car right now. Dude, I can't have any excuses right now. Glory MMA has been losing. So if your internet's bad right now and you have an excuse for a loss, it can't be from the car.
I'm here to back everybody up. I'm doing good though, man. Just got done running. Feeling good, man. 2 weeks out for my fight, so just getting extra work in.
Runner, or are you a sprinter?
Sprint.
Yeah, like so. How long do you run?
Shit, I do sprint and marathon. I did like 3 miles today. So.
Yeah, for me, like I'm a guy. I'll do like 5 is the most. But I used to live with Jared Gordon. Jared Gordon will be like, he'll be bored and he'll run like 15 miles and he'll come back like 3 hours later. I was like, where were you? He's like, oh, I just started. I kept going. I was like, who the heck does that type of thing? And it was like Jared and Paul Felder. So I'm like, bro, these guys are nuts. And you see Paul Felder now doing triathlons. What about you? Are you a long one or no?
Yeah, I do long distance too. I'm one of those guys. If I get bored enough, I'll go for like 10. When I have a fight coming up, then I stop. It's one of those things I only do like outside of fight camp.
Yeah, I tell you, I was like, bro, your knees will freaking start cracking. I was like, dude, I can't do that. Yeah. When it comes to fight time, I was like, bro, I do a lot of swimming. Do either of you guys do swimming?
Nah,
I'm African.
That's bro,
dude, you guys know Rafael Stotts?
Yeah.
The Bellator champion. I brought him, like, I used to train with him in Wisconsin, and I was like, bro, you got to try swimming. I took him to the pool, dude. It was like a 3-foot pool, and dude was like drowning in it. I'm like, bro, you can stand up. Like, you couldn't swim at all. He's like, dude, I'm black. I'm like, bro, dude, you gotta learn.
It's in the blood, man. It's in the blood.
That's hilarious. But hey, we got both you guys here. Cody, let's start this game show. Let's get it going.
Let's go.
All right, fellas, we'll keep the rules real simple here. You're going to shout bully for the buzzer. If you know the answer, I got to hear bully. Rule number 2, wrong answer goes to your opponent. If you say bully, the other person gets the points if you get it wrong. Once again, got to say bully. Most points wins. Good luck, gentlemen.
All right. I'm not saying there's pressure on you right now, David, but there's definitely pressure on you. Sodiq, his whole team, like I think they've gone so far. I've had like 6 people on their team. The only person that won from Glory MMA is Laura Senko. I've had 5 losses for them. So the pressure's all on you, Dave, right now. Sodiq, you're here first. So these are the categories for today. I'm going to let you pick them out. First category is face mash. So these are 2 fighter faces mashed together. You got to tell me which 2 fighters they are.
Okay.
This is a nickname game. Every fighter has a nickname. You got to tell me what their nickname is. Who is he or she? This is the good one. These are guy fighters with girl filters. So you're going to tell me who the guy fighter is. And then this is fan trivia. I put it on my story, so I got some good questions from fans. So they're really tough ones in there. So you guys both got to – for this one, if somebody gets it wrong, the other person gets a chance to do it because if both of you guys get it wrong, the fan gets a prize. Cody, the prize is going to be a free T-shirt. So we got to put it on their expenses. All right. Sodiq, you get to pick first category.
All right, let's do a face smash. I get to pick the points.
Yeah, you get to pick the points too.
All right, 300.
Okay, he's going out big. So either one of you guys can answer. This is 2 fighters. 2 legends.
Bully.
Sadiq.
That's Cowboy and Miller.
Dude, okay. I was hesitant for the like. I thought that was an easy one. Man, like David, right now, the anxiety's coming up right now. You're thinking like, man, am I about to lose right now? I already started off to this loss.
Laura's watching this steaming already. She's mad.
Sadiq, you get to keep going. It's keep.
Oh, nice. Same thing. Face Smash 400.
Face Smash 400. 2 fighter faces here.
Bully.
Sadiq.
Nate and Connor.
Oh man.
It should have been Connor and Floyd. Connor and Floyd rematch in the works.
I don't know. Like I would want to watch that fight again, but I just don't want to have to do another press conference. I was like, I don't want to hear that. That press conference was so lame with Connor and Mayweather. But Sadiq, you get to keep going.
Same thing. 200.
Don't let him sweep out this category, David.
Bully.
Sadiq.
DC and Sean O'Malley.
Bro, what are you doing over there, David? What's going on?
I'm about to try not even give you a turn.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. Keep going.
Same thing for 100.
For 100, dude, if he sweeps this category.
Bully.
Sadiq.
Neil Magny and Shavkat.
Oh my God, dude, bro. What's going on down there, David?
Bro.
All right, nickname.
Man, you're about
nickname. Let's do 200. 200 nickname.
Nickname game 200. Giga Jakasi. These are your weight class, guys. You guys are paying attention.
Bully.
Sadiq.
Knockout Cancer.
Ah, come on. That's his Twitter. His name.
Oh, dang.
All right, David. You got some points right there.
Let me get that. I need that. Yes, sir.
You go now, David.
Let me go with who is she? He. Let me
For
go
how
with I'm gonna go with 100. I'm gonna start off slow.
Oh, that was soft right there. That was soft. This is a guy fighter.
Bully.
Sadiq.
Cheeto.
Man, he is running through you right now. Bro, cutting weight right now. I know you're cutting weight, but dude, I need some energy right now. You're losing.
Let's go.
Sadiq,
Let me do 200. Let me do 200. Who is she?
200. Oh,
Bully.
Oh, that was a tie, but I'm gonna give it to David.
That gotta be Nate Diaz.
Come on, Dave, what the heck?
I would have got it wrong too.
Bro.
I would have got it wrong too. I was gonna say Hamza.
No way, dude, he was too brown for either of those guys. Come on. All right, Sadiq, you get it now.
All right, I'm gonna go back to nickname 300.
Nickname 300. Shane Burgos.
Bully.
Ah.
Hurricane.
Oh, okay. Finally, we got some real points on the board.
Let's go, boy.
Oh, I was gonna say Sugar. I was gonna get that wrong for sure.
Let me go with
Hey, that's a good one, Sugar Shane.
who is she with 400?
Oh, he's going big right here. Oh, this is a hard one. This is a tough one right here. I'll give you guys a hint. He's from Liverpool.
Bully.
Sadiq.
Is it Darren Till?
Oh, there we go. Oh man, you're catching up. Come on, David. Sadiq, you're
All
up.
right. Let's go with nickname 100.
Nickname 100.
Bully.
Alexander Volkanovski. Sadiq.
The Great.
Dude. Man, Glory MMA.
Right.
Glory MMA. That, like the guys with the Africans with the casket are walking out right now. That song is playing.
Let's
Sadiq,
do
you're up.
who is she 300.
300.
Bully.
Sadiq.
Josh Emmett.
Dude, he's the most ugly girl I've ever seen. Oh man, this is starting to become a slaughter right now. Sadiq, you're up.
Is David muted?
David, you good?
Oh, yeah,
You're
yeah,
mute.
he's muted.
Hit the microphone, David. You good?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you.
Oh man, you got lucky on that one, bro.
You were screaming bully?
I'm like, I called it.
Oh, no way, you're on mute.
I'll give him points too. He was on mute. I did see that.
Come
All
on.
right, well, we'll give you some points.
Yeah, I
he's
give like half, like 200 or something.
You're up, Sadiq.
All right, let's do nickname 400.
Nickname 400.
Bully.
Sadiq.
I just screamed that giant. Anyway.
Ah! 3, 2.
Mean.
Oh!
I had to think about it. I just said it. I was like, I know his nickname.
All you gotta do is picture his face. He just looks mean.
Yeah.
All right. I don't know what you could do right
Wait,
now.
how did he get to 1,500?
I was muted, bro. Come on.
The score, the question wasn't even worth that much.
Bro, I got muted twice.
Weight cut points. Weight cut points.
Wake up points. You know, he's struggling right now. Sadiq, you're up. These are fan questions are hard.
All right, fan trivia. I'm gonna start at 100.
100. All right. Who is Arman's only loss in the UFC? Arman fighting this weekend, main event. It was a great fight.
Bully.
Sadiq.
Islam.
He is killing it right now. David, I told you to do studying. I gave you study guys.
I did study, bro. This shit is crazy.
200.
200. How many times has Frankie Edgar fought for the featherweight strap? Ooh, this is your division. Frankie Edgar's fought for the featherweight strap. How many times? This was a good fan question. Mystic Black gave us this question. Sadiq.
I'm gonna say twice.
Twice is wrong.
Let me get that. Yes, sir.
All right, David, go on. Give me something there. 300. Which fighter had the most amount of fights before getting a UFC title shot?
Bully.
David.
Is it Glover?
Come on, David.
Nah,
Charles Oliveira.
No way. I was gonna say it can't be gold.
27. 27. It was a grind, but he got it. You said it so confidently. I'm not gonna lie. Glover is not a bad guess.
All right, the last.
How many letters are in Shavkat's last name?
Come on, Sadiq, you got this.
Bully. Is it 8?
Oh, nice.
I thought his last name was Shavkat. I was like, is this a trick question? I saw counting down Shavkat right there. I was like,
it doesn't matter. The game was over before it even started. Another Glory MMA fighter goes down. Sodiq Yusuff, you are the champion. How does it feel to be remembered and named champion?
It feels great, man. It's a little bit close to winning a UFC title. The UFC title is just like that much far behind, you know.
Hey, we've had Daniel Cormier on the show. He's won it. He said it's felt better than winning the double champ title. So shout out to you for knowing how good this is. This is an important win right here.
Yeah, you got to bring me back, man. I want to defend this belt. It's just you always host at the same time we have practice, man.
No, for sure. I'm gonna bring you back for sure. I'm gonna have a Champions League. David, I'm sorry you didn't make the Champions cut, but you know, Sadiq, you were good. So I got
congrats, Sadiq, bro.
Thank you.
I'll be back.
After the fight, we'll bring you back because that's the only thing that matters is getting this dub. July 9th. How you feeling right now? I
feel good, man. I feel good.
Ago, right?
I'm only 15 over. You know, my weight is good. I'm not really worried about weight, man. Just, you know, I'm ready, man. I'm ready to show out. So
every fight you've had in the UFC so far, you showed out. What was the first fight? Like a week notice?
Yeah, 4 days. About, yeah.
4 days notice. The last fight, you looked like you lost your eye, then you ended up knocking him out on the feet.
You won't bring that shit up.
Did you have an eye injury after that or no? Or was it just like a poke?
I did. That shit was fucked up for like a month.
Oh, wow. Dude, I tell people, I was like, bro, these eye injuries are no joke. And you can go blind and you think to yourself, like, damn, Michael Bisping, you're thinking about him every single time. But it's like, bro, like when I got poked in the eye by Leon, I literally couldn't see for like 4 weeks.
That shit was bad.
Yeah, you can't do nothing. You're like, man, is it gonna be over? Is my career over? Is this over? It's like, man, you don't understand what goes to your head in that moment right there.
Bro. was crazy, man. It was a crazy moment in my life. But I had to pull it off, though, man. So
you pulled it off. You got the finish. That's all that matters. You got the 50K too, didn't you?
yeah, I did. Yep. Shit. Punch me again. Shit. Hey, I saw that fight when he fought Sodiq, bro, because I was actually watching that fight when you guys were fighting. And that's like before I got signed to the UFC, and I was like, bro, this is my weight class. You know, I might end up, fighting one of these guys in the future, man. And end up, being, Gabriel. So I was like, damn, this is crazy. Like, life is really crazy, man. End up fighting him.
Yeah,
but
it's
I watched
crazy.
that fight with Sodiq like 4 or 5 times, bro.
I got a funny story about Gabriel. Before the fight, I think it was Javier or one of them coaches at AKA. It was like, man, this is the hardest person I ever held pass for. Blah blah blah. He kicked so damn hard, and I was like, man, it's whatever, man.
I ain't trying to hear that shit.
They be hyping up their fighters. I was like, man, I'm not trying to hear that. Hey, the first kick that dude hit me with.
Yo. He can kick, bro.
Yeah, so that's all I'm gonna say. I wish both be out of best, but I'm gonna say that he wasn't lying about that kick.
Bro, he has some not mindset kicks. I remember him saying that too. Like he's like, bro, it hurts my forearms every time he kicks. And you're like, man, are these guys lying or not lying?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, now we got the true story here. All right.
Nah, that guy is good, man. Gabriel's really good, man.
Like I said, he's one of the toughest guys in the division. For your second fight to fight him is like crazy how they moved you up that quick. And I'm like, bro, that's a tough fight. But hey, you got the finish. That's all that matters.
It is what it is, man. Back at it. So,
but hey, I appreciate both you guys hopping on the show. Sodiq, if you wanna, before you hop off, want to just let us know who you're fighting real quick, and then we can be all good.
Hey, man, I don't want to shake the waters, man. So if they announced it, it's all good. Like I said, I signed last week, so I'm just waiting for them to say it.
All right, no, it's all good, brother. Appreciate you, brother. Good luck, couple weeks. If you get a bonus, we'll bring you back on the show because honestly, this was a terrible performance by you. This was
it's my first show, bro. Hey, and my mic was messed up, so come on. I was saying bully. I'm like, bro, what's up?
And you're cutting weight. Gotta get that money.
Man, it's the mic, bro. I don't like that.
Bro, I appreciate both of you guys. Shout out to good luck next week. I mean, July 9th. Make sure you guys check it out. Sodiq fighting soon. Appreciate both of you guys.
Wait, so who are you fighting against, Sodiq? I think you mentioned.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
Peace, brother.
Thanks, sir. Almost had him. He was like, almost.
Dude, I was hoping it would just end up flowing through, like, oh yeah, I'm fighting, blah, blah, blah. But dude, honestly, both those guys are killers.
Also, I like Sodiq, future desk mate for Belal.
Yeah, he's good, right?
He's good.
He was good. He was smooth, good talker, and then he know how to break down stuff. I liked him a lot. But man, another Glory MMA guy goes down. I don't know what it is with the guys. Like Laura's the only one that won for them. Everybody else, I think all their guys got killed too, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Not even close. She should walk in with a huge championship belt. We'll get her a belt, maybe pink or something like that. Like really do it up, big style. But another man,
Magny face match was like the best one ever. Shout out to my brother. He says I don't give him no credit. He does my face matches. Shout out to Maher. That's my brother. He does all the face matches for me, guys. So give him a follow. Big Mike on Instagram. Big Mike. Shout out to Big Man. Breaking the fourth wall there, huh? People are just thinking that you're doing. I mean, I don't know. You told Brendan Shaw that you do everything yourself, so I don't know what. Bro, like you're in the middle of you're in the middle of talking, and then you just start talking. You're like, dang, what did I just say? But I was like, man, I was in too deep. And then my brother messaged me like, oh, all right. So you want face matches this week? You do everything, right? I was like, dang, did I really say that? Because you never go back. You never go back and listen to your interviews. But my brother was like, man, you said you do everything. So guys, I don't do everything. Shout out to my producer right here, the producer extraordinaire, Cody Merrill. Shout out to my brother. Shout out to Jason. We all have a hand in this show. We're all going to the top together. So, man, the best part about it, Bilal, shop interview, ignore that part. Bilal, you're so talented that he was just like, "Yep, of course." Like, yeah, it's like, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought so too. But another guy that knows how to break down fights is Belal Muhammad. So let's get to the bigs. Back at it again with the Bullies Picks. We're going to start here in the co-main event. Let me
find my lower here. Sorry about this. Where it's got some implications in a very important division here and maybe a little lower down the rankings that we usually talk about. But the Haitian sensation comes into the UFC octagon for the 27th time with a record of 26-8. The 34-year-old tough veteran looks to continue his 2-fight win streak, coming off a split decision dub against Max Griffin, which people on this program seem to think that maybe he didn't win. But he steps up to fight Shavkat Rakhmonov, the undefeated nomad fighting out of Uzbekistan. He's 3-0 in the UFC after his debut in 2020, and he looks to stay untouched against the UFC veteran in Magny. Belal, important fight in this division. How do you see it playing out?
Yeah, this is a real big fight for this division. Big fight for Magny, honestly, because that last fight, I did think he lost that fight. I thought that Max Griffin pulled it out. He should have pulled it out. But like you said, it goes to the judges. But Magny's also that guy that, he's been in the game for so long. You said 27 fights. He's had so many fights where he's fought monsters where they thought they were going to walk through him, and he ended up pulling it out somehow. He does a good job of weathering the storm early, making you guys drain out, and then later in the third round, he'll come back and he'll look good, kind of like what he did against Max Griffin. Max Griffin dropped him in the first round, then ended up second and third round, he started coming out a little bit stronger. But, man, Shavkat's a different animal. When you look at Magny, you look at the guys he's lost to the guys that are very strong grapplers, guys like Michael Chiesa. RDA submitted him, and RDA is a lot smaller than him. Shavkat's a bigger welterweight. He's a guy that has great striking and great grappling. So he's that new era of fighter, that guy that does it all and does it all great. So 15-0, 15 finishes. I think it's going to be a tough night at the office for Neil. I don't think that there's any way he's going to pull it out. I think that Shavkat's going to end up taking him down and probably finishing him on the ground.
Number 10 versus number 15 there. Magny, obviously the higher ranked fighter. So you really see the minus 460 really being accurate, right?
Yeah, I mean, I like the minus 460. Obviously, I just think styles make fights, and Magny just doesn't do well against guys like Shavkat. We haven't seen Shavkat ever gas out. He's obviously had all finishes, but like we've seen him go in longer distance in fights, and we've seen him have to adjust. If he has to take you down, he'll take you down. If he likes to strike you on the feet, he'll strike you on the feet. So he doesn't have a crazy pace where he'll gas out or anything like that, or overwhelm his opponent with just volume striking. He'll strike you for a little bit, then he'll grapple. Then he'll strike you, then he'll hit you with a spinning heel kick. So he does it all. I think he's a very smart fighter. So I think that he's going to end up finishing Neil Magny.
Well, and I mean, it's inarguable at this point. I mean, welterweight, one of the most well-rounded divisions as far as what you have to be as a fighter to be a high-ranked fighter in this division. Shavkat brings everything to the table, strong takedowns, good grappling game, very good kickboxing and distance management. Speak a little bit about that, about kind of all of the tools that maybe Shavkat brings to the table that Neil, being a veteran, a little older, long in the tooth, maybe doesn't bring anymore.
Yeah, these young uppercomers, they're all hungry. They all know how to do it all. Like, you have to have great grappling, you have to have great striking. Shavkat has it all. He's very well-rounded, and he's a finisher. So, when you look at guys that are on the come up, I think him and Chimaev probably had the same debut, but Chimaev got all the hype because he knows how to talk on the mic. He knows how to say, "I'll kill you," this and that. So Shavkat's not really very loud. Obviously, he called out Magny, and he got the fight that he wanted. But, he doesn't have to do crazy trash talk. If he spoke better English, I think more fans would gravitate to him and know who he is. But I think a guy like Neil Magny, a lot of fans know who he is. He's a staple in the division. So if Shavkat goes out there, finishes him, people will start remembering his name. Hey, nice shirt.
Remember the name. Available now at AnikFlorianPodcast.com. Code FAN15 if you want a discount. But there is no discount here. We're not going to shortchange him. The main event, Arman Tsarukyan minus 285 versus Mateusz Gamrot at a plus 240 clip. Massive fight going down at 155 pounds here, Bully. They have a combined record of 28-3 in their pro careers. The higher ranked Arman Tsarukyan, otherwise lesser known as Halkalakets, I don't know what that means, enters this fight at just 25 years old. The army of alliteration continues on. The Armenian draws his 18-2 record on the line, having not lost since his UFC debut against Islam Makhachev back in 2019, which you mentioned, of course, in the game show. He's rattled off 5 straight UFC wins to sit at 5-1 in the promotion. Looks to continue that trend as he walks in at Mateusz Gamrot, a.k.a. the Gamer, who takes his hands off the joysticks at age 31 years of old to step into the octagon at an almost pristine 20-1. Representing Poland as a former KSW champion, Gamrot also lost his UFC debut against Garam Katuteladze back in 2020. He's 3-0 with wins over Hot Sauce Holtzman, Jeremy Stevens, and Diego Ferreira, which means that the bright lights of the main event stage likely will not get to him with that resume. Huge stakes here at the top of the 155-pound division. Belal, how do you see this fight playing out?
Man, this is a really good fight. And it's funny, a lot of people are like, oh, how is this main event? How is it? Who are these guys? Yada, yada, yada. But I really like this fight. Fighters know who these guys are. Fighters know how good both of these guys are. And in a stacked division like that, I think that it's going to be a big fight for the rankings. Arman is a monster. When I first saw him in his debut against Islam, it was the grappling exchanges in there were crazy. It was nuts. Like nobody ever could defend Islam's grappling like that. Move with him on the ground like that, scramble with him on the ground. He has great stand-up. You saw his last fight when he get to Joel Alvarez, who's a monster, and I thought that guy would be a huge staple in the division, and Arman just dominated him. Gamrot, he looked good his last fight, but there was moments in that fight where he looked like he was gassing out. Ferreira was giving him some really good goals on the ground. There was a lot of scrambling. Gamrot looked like he was starting to gas out. Then Ferreira caught like a knee to the rib, and I think he got injured off of that. I really wanted to see how that third round would have went. They were going back and forth, but Gamrot looked like, he didn't look comfortable on his feet. He looked like he wanted it. He kept trying to shoot. Then even on the ground when Ferreira was making it scrambles on the ground, Gamrot just stood up. He didn't want to stay on the ground with him. Obviously, Ferreira is a crazy black belt, but I don't think that Gamrot's wrestling is going to be good enough to take Arman down. Like I said, Arman's grappling is really good. His wrestling is really good. The way he defended the best wrestler in the division in Islam, the way he defended some of his takedowns, I think that's going to be key in this fight. I think that his stand-up is way better than Gamrot's, and I think that Gamrot's going to have to keep shooting on him, and he's going to end up getting tired, especially in a 5-round fight. I think that Gamrot's going to end up getting tired, and I think Arman's going to end up finishing him probably like 3rd or 4th round. Arman, even in that Islam fight, he took it on short notice, and he still was able to keep the pace up all the way into the 3rd round. He hasn't showed anything. This guy's in crazy shape, so I'm picking Arman for this fight.
Well, and crazy to think about at a UFC debut, short notice debut, I believe it was as well. I mean, he went toe to toe with arguably the best fighter in the division, better than most of the people that get a full camp to fight the guy. So, not for nothing, Arman probably got, thrown into the deep end, but he's clearly proven throughout his UFC career that he's ready for it. He's ready for that next step up. These guys are ranked 11 and 12 in the UFC lightweight division, which, as we know, there's a lot of, for lack of a better term, fuckery that's going on with the entire lightweight division. You still have guys like Connor in the top 10, Tony Ferguson's still up there being ranked in the higher echelons of the division. There's so much that could happen.
They don't have the champion right now.
Right. Well, technically, I mean, I think the champion has a name. His name is Charles Oliveira, but it is very interesting when you think about the kind of politicking too that goes into it, where, as you said, if you can get on the mic and, spit a hot 16 in front of somebody and get the right fights, these guys might be a year or two away from challenging, especially when you have an Islam storyline like that, or Valmont coming on. Let's say he wins 1 or 2 fights. He beats an RDA or someone else higher ranked in 155. Who knows what could be like, on the horizon for him.
Yeah, I think both of these guys are definitely going to be a staple in the division for later on, but it's one of those divisions that's weird where everybody just wants to – they all would rather have that big money fight than a title fight. So there could probably be moments where everybody's like, well, Charles talking about, well, I'll fight McGregor. It doesn't have to be for the title. And you're like, really? Okay, well, obviously the red panty night's a real thing, and you could change your life with that red panty night. But if one of these guys come out crazy and then you look at a guy like Islam who definitely deserves a title fight, they'll probably give him somebody else to fight him. If Oliveira just wants to sit out and wait for the money fight, but you never know nowadays. Like even McGregor's talking about fighting Mayweather. Like he literally just does stuff to get in the headlines. There's nothing behind it. There's no rhyme or reason for what he does. He'll sit there, see somebody winning a fight, and then he'll just like tweet out something random. And now I feel like he's getting bored. So now he's talking about, let's fight Mayweather. Let me fight Mayweather again. So then you look at guys like Michael Chandler and Oliveira who are thinking that they're in the running for a fight like that. What do they do now? Do they just like, well, I'm going to sit out on the sidelines real quick and then I'll see what happens. And then all of a sudden, if you don't get that fight, it's like, well, I sat on the sidelines for 6 months. I didn't get the McGregor fight. And now who's next? Then maybe like everybody else's book. So you're like, dang, do I have to fight an Arman now? Do I have to fight a Gamrot now because I waited and I wasted my time? So you get stuck. That's the trouble with the waiting game. And a lot of these guys, are, they're all gunning for that big money fight. It makes a lot of sense that why they would want that fight. And guys like Oliveira, it took him 27 fights to fight for the title, and he's willing to give it up for a McGregor fight. It's just crazy to me.
Yeah, well, and then you got Volkanovski, who said that if he goes out there and, does what he needs to do against Max Holloway, that he's going to be looking to move up too. So there's a lot of interesting things at 155. If Conor fights Chandler, that's not going to be at 155. So what's the point of even talking about that in the rankings of 155? Like I said,
I forgot about it. I wanted to ask some other guys, like, are you rooting for Volkanovski or are you rooting for Holloway? Because obviously if Holloway wins, you have to do a fourth fight.
Right.
Like it only makes sense. So then that division is going to be held up even more.
Right. I thought Sodiq was going to bring that up as far as, what do you think is going to happen versus what do you want to happen? Two probably different things. And then if you're Josh Emmett, like you just fought, you're seemingly going to wait for that next fight. What happens if that happens? You're 37 years old. Like, what does your career look like if you have to go in there and fight again? Maybe he goes in there and, unfortunately, I don't want to say it, but goes in there and loses the shot. Maybe I should have waited. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't a lot of the times.
Yeah, but like that's the trouble with that when there's like no clear path. When you look at rankings and they don't mean nothing because like you got a guy like Yair against Ortega. If Yair goes out there, gets a crazy finish, he's one of those highlight reel fighters. He gets a crazy finish. He has a big name in Mexico and huge fan base. They're gonna want to push that fight more than anything. All right. Well, him and Holloway had a crazy fight. Volkanovski's a good matchup for Yair. They want to open up more in that market. So it makes more sense for a younger Yair to fight for the title instead of Josh Emmett, who's on the older end. He's American, so there's not really like that big following behind him or big pushing behind him. He's not really big on social media. He's a crazy, great fighter, and it would be a fun fight with him and Volkanovski if Volkanovski wins, or even Holloway if he wins. But it's like it comes down to what's going to make the UFC the most money and who they think is going to sell more. And coming from a Mexico market, they've been wanting to build that market forever. So I think they're going to sit there and wait and see what happens with Yair and Ortega and then go from there. But if Holloway wins, does that just like mess that whole thing up? Because then, and even if I'm them two, do I want to fight the same guy for 4 times in a row? It's like, bro, like, I'm done with you. Like even me fighting Luca right now, I'm like, bro, I hope he ends up losing because I don't want to have to fight this guy one more time. Like I don't want to have to figure out another way to beat this guy because it's going to be a third time. Yeah. And it makes the most sense. And I'm like, do you want to wait for that? Do you want it to happen again? But it's just crazy when you have to fight the same guy over and over again.
Well, and especially when there's no heat. I mean, I'm sure the opinion of somebody like a DC would be a little different about that, about fighting. You want to get that back, like especially that rivalry, which was so like venomous. But like you and Luque, I mean, you could probably go and have dinner with the guy and be perfect. You probably did. It's like, it seems
honestly, like you said, like one of the nicest guys ever, very cool guy. I really don't want him to lose. I want him to win. He's a good guy. But it's like I don't want to fight these guys. When you see me fighting Wonder Boy, Maya, then Luque, it's like these are like the nicest guys ever. I want somebody that I have heat with, somebody that'll make me want to push myself even harder.
Yeah, just saying some fan comments here. Just saying some fan comments, but. I was just for shits and giggles sake. Let me run through the 155 rankings from 1 to 12. Okay, Oliveira number 1, Dustin Poirier number 2. Don't know what he's doing. Justin Gaethje number 3. Again, don't know what he's up to. Islam Makhachev number 4. Michael Chandler number 5. Benny Dariush number 6. RDA 7. McGregor 8. Ferguson 9. Rafael Fiziev 10. Tsarukyan 11. Gamrot 12. So it's like how many active fighters are even in that?
RDA, and then those is that the only 2 in the division that actually have a fight that are in the top 10 right there?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of sitting around and waiting.
And then you look at a guy like Tony Ferguson, who's on a 4 or 5 fight losing streak. Obviously, he's losing to some of the best in the division, but it's like he's going to obviously wait for an easier fight, but there is no easier fight. When you have these guys on the come up, it's like when you're looking for an easier fight, you're looking more downward. When you're looking downward, you got Arman and Gamrot that are on the come up, and they're both terrible matchups for him. So if I'm him, it's like I'm going to keep picking at Khabib to try to get on a tough show just to keep my name in the picture. But he needs to be at that level now where you're fighting a Donald Cerrone, you're fighting a Joe Lozon, those type of guys, because you need that. Like, there's no more, let me fight the next guy for a title shot. Let me fight another Justin Gaethje. Like, those guys are terrible matches for you. Like, you have to start looking at the bigger picture and have the right team around you who's going to pick the right fights for you.
Well, and that's why I think it's a little confusing with 155 because you have Conor who, talks about Usman, talks about title shots, talks about this, but it's like, wouldn't you think another Cerrone fight for him would be a better, like a fight like Cerrone would be a better move, maybe against the Ferguson, maybe something a little bit more, palatable than jumping right in there against these sharks, off a snapped leg.
Yeah. I mean, when I'm looking at him and I'm thinking, if I'm him, a Michael Chandler fight makes a lot of sense. So Michael Chandler, who, he's going to come out there, he's going to get hit 25 times and he's going to stand in front of you. He's going to want to bang with you. So he's the guy that you can go out there, knock out. He has a lot of hype. He after that big, huge knockout against Tony Ferguson, you're looking at, well, he beat Tony Ferguson, blah, blah, blah. But like Tony Ferguson has a huge name. Tony Ferguson looked good in that first round. Michael Chandler, he went on the mic. He had a great call out. And if I'm Conor, he's a guy that I can knock out. He's a guy that I can finish because he stands right in front of you and he does get hit a lot. So I'd rather pick that fight instead of a Charles Oliveira, instead of somebody that has amazing grappling and who's going to come at my weakness. But I just don't think Conor wants to come back to MMA. I think that he looks like he's 200 pounds right now. I don't think he's going to come back to 155. I don't think he's going to come back to 170. No. I think he's just going to keep tweeting out, texting, and then maybe 2023, if he gets bored, he'll come back. But I don't think he is.
Well, and I think I'm just shooting a shot in the dark here, but the fight that makes sense right now is Conor Nate. You do it again. Like Nate will not fight, anybody really ranked at this point. He wants to be released, wants to go box Jake Paul. Dana's essentially saying, go do it. But like, then you lose Conor Nate. Then that fight is arguably still a top 5 overall pay-per-view in the history, even with their records being what they are right now. I mean, you put that fight as a headliner, maybe you cut some kind of deal with some of these champions to not take pay-per-view points on a Conor card and put them under it, and you really stack it out. I mean, they could pack the Vegas Stadium if they wanted to, the Raiders Arena, like that's a huge fight. And I can't believe that we're even considering letting Nate Diaz go.
Yeah, that's the biggest fight you can make, obviously, but it's one of those where I don't think Nate just wants to wait that long. I think that Conor is going to wait till 2023 to actually fight or later on in that year. And if I'm Nate, I've been setting out for so long. He has a big money fight on the table anyway against Jake Paul. He probably has you probably make way more money doing that with sponsors and so-and-so. And it's an easier fight. If I'm Nate, it's like, why do I want to wait for Conor, fight with 4-ounce gloves on when I could fight Jake Paul, a YouTuber, make probably the same amount of money, and I don't have to get stitches in my face off of first jab because they're 4-ounce gloves. Like, I get to box with this guy, have fun with it. It's just, it's just interesting to see what's going to happen. It's the waiting game with a lot of these guys. And if you're Dana White and everybody, you're looking for what's going to make the most money. So you're trying to pick and choose who's going to fight who, this and that. And then you have guys that won't fight this guy or that guy and guys that don't want to wait. So it's fun.
Not fun when you're a top 5 ranked UFC welterweight waiting for a fight. That's for damn sure, huh?
Man, when you're a top 5 UFC welterweight and the fight that makes the most sense and you're seeing it and like you got a 3-time champion and Daniel Cormier talking about it, and me and Hamzat make literally the most sense out of any fight in any division. If you look at any clear-cut number 1 contender fight, it makes the most sense ever. Like when you're looking at featherweight, you're like, it's either going to be Yair, or if he has a great win, or it's going to be Emmett. Who's going to fight for the title next? When you're looking at 205, there's not really no clear cut who's next in line. There's not really no clear cut at heavyweight. None of these guys are clear cut except for 170. We know who the number 1 contender fight would be. It would be me against Hamzat. We're the only 2 that haven't fought for the title. We're the only 2 that won our last fights. I had the second longest streak in the division. I'm a guy that's been active. He's a guy that wants to stay active. We're both ready to go to Abu Dhabi. Who knows?
Wish I had some flame. I could drop some flame emojis on that bit. I was going to ask what you're most excited for next week, Bully, but I can't do it better than you just did it. That's Remember the Show. I'm Cody Merrill. This is Belal Muhammad. We're going to be in Vegas next week. We're going to meet each other for the first time. I'm excited. And I think Bully's going to get a fight signed, okay? I'm going to throw it out into the universe. We're going to go out there. There's going to be some conversation, some breaking bread, and we're going to get a fight signed.
See you guys next week, guys.
Later. Peace.